Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of The Bug Warrior. In today's episode I will explain to you how to farm Heralds and if it's worth the grind. Before I go into any details, please allow me to say that this is hands down the most difficult grind ever created in a game. Whoever came up with a super low chance of finding Sunder Charms by slaying Heralds truly hates rainbows, unicorns and everything that is good in this life. That being said, please allow me to explain. The whole reason why you're about to enter this nightmare rabbit hole is because of the new Sunder Charms. What are Sunder Charms, you ask? Well, they are the 6 new charms that if you manage to somehow get them, then no enemy in Diablo 2 Resurrected will have an immunity against you. This means that each one of the Sunder Charms breaks an immunity to a specific element. The problem is that there is only one way to get these charms, and that is by farming and slaying Heralds. So what are Heralds? Heralds are the new bosses that you can find exclusively inside Terror Zones. For those coming back to the game, like your host, Terror Zones are these new zones that modify or enchant, as people say, a random level from any act for 30 minutes. During that time, normal enemies inside the zone will gain +2 levels, but champions and uniques can gain up to +5 levels. So in simple words, if you're at level 85, you will face enemies at level 87 and some will be level 90. So yeah, these zones are quite a challenge. The reason why a zone gets terrorized for 30 minutes is so we get a faster rotation. Why is the rotation so important? Because not all terror zones have the same value. In fact, we can sort them by their tier. So before doing anything else, what you want to do is go check the Diablo 2 Resurrected Terror Zones tier list at Diablo 2.io, which I will leave the link to it in the description. As you can see, we have a total of 6 tiers available. The best ones and the only ones you want to farm are the S and A tier. Before doing this video, I tried farming every zone that was available, but I was so naive. After a few hours, you will need to take a break, so believe me when I say exclusively farm for the S and A tiers and just take a break from the game when any other zone is active. Alright, so now that we know which zones to farm, the next thing you need to do is go to the Diablo 2 Resurrected Terror Zone tracker located at d2emu.com. Here the website will show you the current terror zone based on your browser's local time and the next one. Remember once again that every 30 minutes is going to change, so check what is on. If it's something worth it, go for it. If not, take a break and wait. Once you find a good zone, it's time to go hunting. What you want to do is kill as many champions, uniques and elites as you can. The reason is that every time you slay these types of enemies, you have a chance to earn a token. This token is invisible since it is a system mechanic. However, according to d2emu.com, there is a 2% chance per elite kill to earn the token. This is a very low number. You know you have earned a token when you see the message, "You draw the ire of a herald." Continue slaying elites and uniques until you see a herald is hunting you in and then the name of the level where you are. This means that a herald has spawned, so search the level and find him. Be warned that heralds are difficult enemies to defeat, mostly because they can get crazy auras. Aside from their damage, they also have a lot of health points, so they take longer than usual to bring them down. The next thing you need to know is that heralds scale from tier 1 to tier 5, and while some people say that you can get a Sunder Charm by slaying a herald at tier 1, apparently the Sunder Charms only drop from heralds at tier 4 or 5. Okay, so now let me tell you the real problem. In order for you to reach tier 5 Herald, you need to stay in the game. Yeah, you heard right. You can't log out, you can't save an exit, you can't quit, and God forbids the power goes out. I don't know why they did that, it's horrible, and this is the part that kills me. I figured this on my own because the first time I found a Herald was at the River of Flame at Hephasto. The first time you find a Herald, it will be called Herald of Fright, and that is Herald tier 1. I found mine at the River of Flame, I slayed him, I was so happy but tired, so I went to bed. Then the next day I started farming the sewers at level 1, and then I saw the message, "You draw the ire of a herald," meaning that I had a new token. I was so excited. And then at the sewers level 3, the herald started hunting me, and then I noticed that it was again the Herald of Fright. After I slayed him, I had to check, and indeed, in order to reach tier 5, you need to stay in the same session. The problem is how long it takes for heralds to spawn. Since I wanted to test this, I recorded everything, so here's what happened. I found tier 1 Herald of Fright at 4:43 PM at the sewers level 3. Next, I found tier 2 Herald of Dread at 6:40 PM at the cave level 1. Then I found tier 3 Herald of Fear at 7:01 PM at the Halls of the Dead level 2. Then at 9:36 PM I found tier 4 Herald of Horror at the Viper Claw Temple level 1. And minutes later at exactly 9:44 PM I found the tier 5 Herald of Terror at the Viper Claw Temple, but level 2. However, in total that was 5 hours to go from tier 1 to tier 5, and that was by following the method of exclusively farming the S tier and A tier zones and not logging out. Once you reach Herald tier 5, all the next heralds that spawn will always be tier 5. So you could say here is where you begin farming, but it is crazy because you need to stay in the game or play for as long as you can, log out and repeat. That is why some people on weekends are playing 10 to 12 hours, but if you are married, have kids, go to work, and will just exist, there is no way to do that. For me, I left the game on while I went to bed. Then the next morning I woke up at 5 AM to play for a few hours. I think I found around 4 heralds, but then at 11:03 AM, after slaying the last one, I gave up and logged out. Not only because I had to work, but because it stops being fun. It feels truly like hell. So before we go, I ask you, is it really that important to get the Sunder Charms? Well, not even get them, attempt to get them. For me, I decided to simply play the game, get my wallstone shards so I can farm the colossal ancient statues, and yes, I will play Terror Zones, but only for the gear and the XP. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. We reached the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far and found the video interesting or useful, please consider to share, like, comment or subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.